the most important section of our society for a president is that one which never goes on strike, like the villagers. You never have villagers going on strike, refusing to plow when the rains have come. They voluntarily just go ahead and produce food. But you people who are here, most of you are heads of industries and commerce, captains of industry, and so on and so on. And sometimes your workers give you problems by going on strike and so on and so on. And then we have two sides of the coin. You know, industry wanting our government to put legislation which deals with the strikes very heavily, and the unions wanting laws which make sure strikes are allowed. And the government is in the middle. Then you look at what happens at the home. Summer comes, every village knows what to do when summer comes. When the harvesting season comes, they know what to do. When the plowing season comes, they also know what to do. No strikes. The most uncomfortable section of society which any president would want to lead. But Zimbabwe is not an island. We are part of the global setup. So we must modernize and industrialize our country the best we can in the model setup where these things are prevalent. My dear young brother who gave us the prayer, Chanakira gave us several verses in the Bible. I'll call him later on so he can give them to me. They are very good verses. I think I can use them far much better. Because every citizen, if he hears that this thing is godly, no one opposes, we generally accept. So we quoted very useful verses in the Bible, which I think I'll get you to tell me. And be more serious. The briefing will be given by Comrade Gwamatanga, the Secretary for Finance, will be very comprehensive. Very, very comprehensive. I was listening with intent, focus, and felt that perhaps we need several of these meetings for Gwamatanga to be so articulate. In the past, whenever we thought about resource mobilization, I won't mention the other ministers of finance because I was once one. Who would think about borrowing? IMF, World Bank, whatever. No. There is possibility for our own economy, our own institutions. We have institutions here which have vast funds sitting. If we have confidence in our own institutions, in our own policies, in our own vision, we have adequate resources to a great extent at the domestic level to drive the modernization and industrialization of our economy, our country. Similarly, private sector investments in research, development and innovation are a key economic driver for sustainable development with the potential to promote production, productivity, inclusive growth, and job creation. In this regard, the private sector is challenged to adopt sustainable and development-focused business models by transitioning from the traditional corporate social responsibility initiatives. It is thus important to broaden sustainable empowerment and employment benefits for populations in the surrounding communities. All along, this country was food insecure. We were importing, spending time and again, importing food, wheat and maize, feed our country. Tell me, when did we last do it under the civil government? No, I mean nothing of that sort has ever happened. We must eat what we kill, or kill what we eat, whichever way you want. With the model of agriculture that we have introduced in the country, first we targeted to make sure that we have food security at the household level in the country by the Mudza concept. Because most of the villages are sophisticated. Let me tell you, the villagers who are more sophisticated than yourselves. Each household is required to dig 52 holes. No tractor. Just dig holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 52 going this way. That's 52 weeks. 19 holes going this way. That gives you a week's food sufficiency for a week for a family of 7 people, eating 3 times a day. So that guarantees food for our entire rural population or households, guaranteed. Now, people like you have bigger farms and so on, you don't dig holes, you use tractors. So what we produce becomes that which shall service the nation. But the ordinary household family is guaranteed by this model of agriculture we have introduced. We are now in our 6th year, no importation of any food. But as a matter of fact, now we have become food secure. And from this year, we shall become wheat exporter.
Is to advise you and all the dignitaries and delegates here present that ZCON 2022 conference facilitated and assisted us in policy making, especially in the development of the 2023 national budget. Outputs and recommendations from the ZCON 2022 deliberations significantly shaped policy in a variety of ways, including the remodeling of the foreign currency trading mechanism, the strengthening of a country's re-engagement effort on the debt resolution front, as well as institutionalization of the value for money framework, just to mention a few policy outcomes from the ZCON 2022 conference. In like manner, Your Excellency, it is evident from the program that has been laid out for this year's edition of the ZCON 2023, and from the deliberations and from the summary from Piers Matanga, and from the quality and depth of presentations that we expect no less from this year's engagement. It should contribute, the discussions will certainly contribute to clearer policy making. Ladies and gentlemen, the attainment of aspirations of Vision 2030 and other regional and global aspirations at large require that we intensify our efforts to generate growth through mobilization of domestic resources as espoused in NGS 1. This is in tandem with the theme of this year's ZCON 2023 conference, that of public and private resource mobilization for sustainable development. Your Excellency, the economy remains on a positive growth trajectory, having recorded GDP growth rates of 8.5% in 2021 and 6.5% in 2022. There is no doubt that Zimbabwe is one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing economies in Africa, with projected GDP growth of 5.3% this year in 2023. There are great prospects that this projection will be revised upwards, taking into account positive developments being witnessed in the agricultural sector, the mining sector, and infrastructure development, and the tourism sectors. Your Excellency, for what is worth, we nearly failed to book this conference in this hotel because of demand for accommodation in Victoria Falls. There's just a shortage of hotels, so this speaks to the roaring developments in the recovery of the tourism sector. However, we are cognizant of the expected difficult year ahead in view of the projected negative impact of the El Nino weather phenomena, which is associated with extreme weather events, especially droughts. Under your leadership, we are implementing mitigatory measures to reduce its negative impact on the overall economy and to reduce food insecurity. Notwithstanding, we're expecting a decent economic growth in 2024 and beyond, and thus remain fully confident that the NDS1 targets and the Vision 2030 objectives remain well within reach. In terms of inflation, after the successful implementation of fiscal and monetary measures we put in place to manage liquidity and indiscipline by market players, as well as promote the use of the local currency, inflation has been on a downward trend, with month-on-month inflation being in negative territory for the months of July and August. The recent statistics from ZIMStat indicate that that year-on-year inflation for the month of September is now at 18.4%. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenges we are facing as a nation require more homegrown solutions and strategies, and we need to intensify our efforts in mobilizing domestic resources, especially in the face of limited access to international capital markets. As we have already witnessed, a mobilization of domestic resources has seen the country making great strides in implementing various programs and projects under the NDS1, and we have largely used our domestic resources. The mid-term review consultations of the NDS1 conducted during the period April to June 2023 indicate positive performance in most of the 14 priority areas under NDS1. Major inroads were recorded in the areas of infrastructure development, especially roads, aviation infrastructure, ports of entry and exit, ports of entry and exit, the dams, energy sector, irrigation, among others. Notable achievements were made in the areas of food security, ICT development and health, especially in combating the COVID-19 pandemic. We did very well in this area of excellence. Therefore, the solutions that are being proffered during this conference will significantly contribute towards the formulation and implementation of sound policies, the shaping of the 2024 national budget, and implementation of the NDS1 during the second half of its 5-year period.
Inovakwa nemari yayo. It was recommended that government should adopt a gradual de-dollarization process, accompanied by necessary incentives, instead of a forced Big Bang approach, learning from other countries' experiences. The academics, Your Excellency, presented a very strong case of experiences from other countries, which were very enlightening, and we will summarize them for further feedback into our policy formulation mechanism. As part of confidence building measures, government was urged to implement social contract Kadoma Declaration. Related was the need for the financial sector reform to ensure it effectively undertakes its mandate of financial intermediation role in a cost-effective manner. Your Excellency, let me take this opportunity to inform you that stakeholders in this conference have requested that government provide the market and the economy with a clear current reform roadmap, as the financial sector is now hesitant to extend long-term foreign currency loans as the 2025 deadline looms. To ensure value for money and to curb corruption, both in public and private sector, stakeholders recommended innovative ways of adopting e-procurement management systems that eliminates human interface and promotes efficiency. Why is it only here in Africa and in Zimbabwe that we even want to call it in the informal sector? Because when you go elsewhere, even if you go to the United Kingdom, in Oxford Street, there are people with trolleys there selling all kinds of things, but they are not called the informal sector. They are called the micro businesses or SME. Why is ours informal? And I think we should start getting rid of this word called the informal sector. It's micro businesses or small to medium scale enterprises. There is nothing informal about these people.